financial mess, well, never more remote. Nothing dramatic, nothing new, more like something borrowed, something blue. Like this, talk that the White House is preparing a Department of Jobs, melding the Commerce Department with the Office of U.S. Trade Representative and some others to create, I guess, an Uber agency whose sole job would be, well, jobs. Conservative columnist Star Parker just calls it a piece of work. So you're not buying this, Star?
I'm not buying it unless he's creating a Department of Jobs because he realizes he's going to be in need of one. So he wants to be first in line in this long line of the unemployed. Look, Neil, I know that you're familiar with a book that was written many years ago, management book by Lawrence Peters called The Peter Principle. And what it basically argued is that you can always tell when a person has reached their level of incompetence because they just move around deck chairs on the Titanic. And
well,
we've seen this
careful,
before.
though. Be careful. I built a career on that. So what I would say, no, in all seriousness,
well,
I would look at what he's doing and the idea of a federal agency. We've seen this before. All good intentions with the energy agency, the education, to little avail, right?
That's all that liberals know how to do is grow government and spend other people's money. And we have seen this. Barack Obama's not doing a new strategy. Jimmy Carter, as you just mentioned, we had an energy crisis. He then built a Department of Energy. We had an education crisis. He built a Department of Education. And look where we are today. Now we have an economic crisis, so Barack Obama thinks he can just move around the deck chairs on the Titanic and build new government departments. What we need is to limit the role of government. He needs to overturn Barack Obamacare so that we can move this economy to health.
You know, one day does not a trend make. I mean, we've had a few days now of gains in the markets, the world stabilizing a little bit, this department notwithstanding that he's looking to create. Do you think that he might be thinking, I'm over the worst of it, I can go ahead and go back to my sort of DNA here where I'm proposing maybe a bigger government solution, a cabinet level department solution, and it won't get me in trouble?
Well, we know that he believes in big government, so he wants to stimulate, again, with other people's money, with tax money. The market is resilient, though. It is going to go up and down outside of Barack Obama's attack against the free market and capitalism. But no, growing government, it's not going to work this time any way that it hasn't worked, the same way it hasn't worked in the past. I'm
just wondering whether cabinet agencies in general, whether the Republican presidents or Democratic ones, some of them have sort of outserved their usefulness, and whether there's sort of a push, regardless of whether this president's reelected or a new president comes in, or future administrations, whether we got to relook at this whole sort of cabinet pie, for lack of a better word.
Well, that's why they should not have increased the debt limit, frankly. What we should have done was looked at departments like Commerce in this case, and many of the other wasteful efforts in Washington, D.C., and perhaps start peeling back. This super committee is not going to do that. They're not going to be able to find that $1.5 trillion by allowing the Barack Obama administration to just begin to swell government again. Yes, they have outlived their usefulness many, many places in Washington.
All right, Star, thank you very much. We'll watch closely whether this ever comes to pass. It's just out there. That's what we're saying. It is out there. Star Parker, thank you. Meanwhile, is the president's bus tour avoiding spots with high unemployment rates? We did a little bit of digging, and it sure seems that way. Ed Henry, traveling with the president, joins us from the president's bus. First of all,